I'm Tarron with Twist Mesquite Performance Horses. We're on a mission to create a world-class 2-year-old program that specializes in the rein cow horse. This evening, we're doing an update with Quicksilver. This week, we are getting ready to put his first rides on, and so today, this is a little bit of review from the weekend. We had the weekend, so this is Monday. A little bit of review for him, but then we're going to continue to progress him towards putting that first ride on him this week. So I'm going to go through, and I already felt him out, desensitized him a little bit. Make sure he's thinking about me. I just want to feel out, feel everything out, make sure he's not worried about this saddle, the saddle pad. He's been really good with it the past week or so, but with them having a few days off and people running around, and you never know kind of what mindset these horses will be in. He's been pretty good about these cinches and everything, but I still don't want to take a whole lot of time messing around with them. It's pretty important to not be sneaking around these horses. Let them know what I'm doing. I feel out all these spots on them. Make sure they know what I'm going to do with them, so they're not worried about it. They're not anxious about it. I don't want to sneak around them, but I don't want to do anything stupid either. He just kind of moved up from it a little bit, just done it up, and same with the back cinch. Just let them know I'm coming with it. Get it pulled up. I want to get out of the way and just get his hip disengaged, where he realizes that saddle and those cinches are tight. I want to let him move out. Just carry that saddle. So now we kind of filled him out. Let him know the saddle was back on him. I just want to go back and desensitize him. Get this lead rope all over him. Make sure he's not worried about what we're doing. He's in a really good frame of mind where he's not concerned about what we're doing, and he is at the same time listening to what we ask him, keeping some energy in his feet. Pretty quick here, we're gonna get some detangler for his mane because it's pretty knotted up, all twisted up. Him running on the ranch for a while. It's got that Mustang hair. I want to review these head shy exercises we were doing. Just want to make sure he's good with me rubbing all over his head here. Like I said, there's something about rubbing their jaws where they just relax and they really like it. Want to my hand around his head. Make sure he knows that this is something I didn't do on one of those other colts that I have out, and she reminds me of it when I go and put that Bozal on her. I want to make sure he's good with me around his ears. When we put that Bozal on him, or even the snaffle, I'm going to be pulling it across his ears, so I want him to be good with that. Another thing is where they want him to lower his pole. And we've worked on this a little bit, but I want him to give to it. He tried to run away from it instead of wanting him to lower his head from off of that pressure, just like that. And go back and rub it. I just place my fingers on it and then push a little harder and push a little harder if need be until he gives off of that. But we just up the pressure as needed, but we want to start with light pressure. That was just a little bit, but it was improvement there. So when we get to this point and everything, where they're at in our colt starting deal, everything's pretty slow, a lot of desensitizing, a lot of good. Another thing we're doing is definitely gonna need some more flexing. He's pretty stiff right here, but there. Another thing we do is we want him to flex and yield this hindquarters right here off of where I'm going to have my heel when I ask him to disengage that hip when I'm riding him. So I'll ask him to flex. Now as he's bent, I'm going to place my thumb and just lightly and then push it into him. If he doesn't move, then I'm going to move that hip over with that driving pressure there. And even if I get on him and he doesn't respond off of my foot, he'll still remember me kissing to him, and I have him bent, so he'll think about moving that hip there. If he's smart, he'll figure this out pretty quick, and he should. I'm going to just place my thumb. He thought about moving there. Give him a chance. I'm going to flex him again. We'll probably work on this. Keep working on this on both sides till he gets pretty good with it. I want to, as big as he is, big and powerful as he is, I want him really responsive and respectful when I go to get on him. He thought about moving there. That time he moved just off of that thumb pressure. And I go back and rub it. We know we've been working on all this other stuff where it's just rubbing to a stop, and so he went and moved, so we just rub it. We go back and flex him again, and I bet he'll probably move off it pretty quick. See, I just light pressure there. He anticipated it. So we'll go to the other side. See, he started figuring out what we were doing. See, I want these horses to anticipate it as long as they're not anxious about it. If they're anxious about it, that's not an ideal situation. So this side, I bet he'll probably get it pretty quick. See, that was just me smooching to him. People say a lot of the times that they have two sides of them, but two brains. But I've noticed a lot of times on these smart horses, you do it to one side, they're pretty good. They come around pretty quick on that other side. With whichever side you start out with, that other side seems to be pretty good. Follows suit a lot quicker. There. Good deal. Okay. Another thing I'm going to work on is just bend him around. I don't want to bend him too tightly to start out with here. But what we're going to do is this gives him an opportunity to bend around, to follow his nose through a turn without me being on him or in the middle of him or dictating to him. Some people tie it to their tail, but I'd hate for something to happen to their tail. I'm just going to let him figure out that he's there. But you see, we've already taught him how to give, and so he gives to that pressure. He's not sitting there yanking, resisting it. He's not sitting there worried about it. See, we want an opportunity for him to follow that pressure through a turn, which in this is similar to what we did with the lead rope, to where we put that lead rope around his hind end and asked him to come through that turn. And so this is similar. So I just want him to see he's very relaxed. He has a lot of slack in that lead rope. Just like when we ride him, it's the same thing. Like I want him to turn and have a lot of slack in that lead rope, where he comes through that turn really soft. See, he's licking his lips. He's understanding. He's trying to figure out. See right there, I'm not asking him to move forward. He's stopping on his own right here and getting soft and getting off of that pressure. And so that's just like our one rein stops when we get on him and we take our feet off and we ask him to come to stop. And we ask him to get soft. And so everything we do has a purpose and has a reason. That's all right. He kept himself off that fence there. He can really suck that back leg back and kind of draw back, so that's pretty neat to see. So I really like how soft he's getting right there. He's watching me, but he's also staying soft on that lead rope. And all I want is for him to kick that hip around and then come through that turn and kick that hip around come through that turn. He's doing extremely well with that. See, this horse is in a very good frame of mind. He's in a very good frame of mind. And so when we're working with him, when we're getting him ready for this first ride, we want to be cognizant of that. And we want to continue with the same pace and the same speed, the same energy we've had with him, but we also want to be aware that we don't want to do anything to cause this horse to regress. We want to continue to build his confidence in what we're doing, in us, and just continue him on through the process. Like I said, he's doing extremely well. So I really like that he came through there soft. He's not worried about me right here. He's not trying to move or run off. He's staying soft right here with this lead rope. And so I'll pull him loose here. Let him know he did a good job. See, this horse is really starting to think through what we're asking him to do. And he's doing a lot less overreacting. Let's let him know he did a good job. See, he's licking his lips, he's processing. He's reading our body language to where we're letting him rest right here. So this side will do the same thing. I want to remind him about getting soft on this side. I want to flex him. Remind him about giving to that pressure on this side. He's to the point to where he is processing very well with what we are asking him to do. He is understanding. He's not taking any steps backwards. He's only advancing. He's only moving forward at this point. He's taking what we're asking him to do, and he's getting it. He's getting it, and he's understanding on pretty much the first try at this point. And that's good. When they get that overreactiveness, when they get that worry, that concern, they get that fear out of the way, when we help them do that, they get to a point where they start thinking and processing. And then that does depend largely on how smart that horse is or how well we do with helping them understand, and where we let them rest, where we let them but where we release the pressure to where they start to understand that. But this is how I want that first ride to go. I want him to have some energy in his feet, but to be soft and to follow that pressure and not sit here and overreact. Be pretty level-headed about everything. He's thinking about everything. And so all these exercises at this point that we're doing with him is building to that. So when I go to, and like today, I'm going to spend time putting weight in the stirrups and putting weight in that saddle, getting him used to me being up on the side of him and up above him. So he's not concerned with that, and then we'll progress and we'll make sure that there's no spots there. No spots to where he's concerned about that saddle at all, or me being around him, me touching anywhere on his body. Last week, we did get his front feet picked up. This week we want to work on picking his back feet up, making sure he's good with that. Doing some more desensitizing exercises, making sure he's good with all of that. Where he's not, he's in a very good frame of mind. He's not worried about what we're doing. So I'm just going to let him rest right here. Let him find that stop and find that softness. Then I'll undo him. So I like that he took a big old exhale. He's relaxing quite a bit. He's understanding what we're doing. He's good with it. Getting soft right there. See, and he's reading my body language where I'm coming up to him relaxed. Not wanting him to move off. I'm letting him sit here. And he's good with it. I want to review with this plastic bag. Make sure we can touch him all over with it. So he's a little worried about it. That's all right. We'll remind him about it. But he did right. He didn't move from it. He was a little high-headed about it, but he wasn't. He cocked his leg. He was relaxing. But I did, we're seeing he's kind of twitching about it a little bit, so we want to make sure to address that. We want to get it up under him. Make sure he's not worried about that. All this stuff we're doing with him, by the time I get on him, it won't be a worry. Because we've come at him with the plastic bag. We've come at him with our blanket over there. We picked all his feet up. We've climbed all over him. Seeing we're coming around here. Don't want to come around his head. He's not completely sure about it, but he's staying pretty relaxed. And like I said, by the time we get on him, had all this stuff done to him, he's in a pretty good frame of mind here. See, jumped at that. Want to do it again. Go back and, anytime they jump or they worry, we want to go back and make sure that we don't just move on from that spot. We go back to it and find, make sure they're good with us doing that, which it was just a surprise. He just was watching what I was doing and wasn't expecting me to come up to him like that. But anyway, so now that we have the saddle on him, I want to make sure that we're feeling all this stuff out. I'm slapping all over him. I'm coming behind his butt, coming up underneath his belly. I'm grabbing this back cinch. I'm flapping this stirrup here. I want him to realize what we're doing, and I don't want him to be surprised about the saddle or anything we're doing. So I'm going to start getting on and off of him, and I want him to be okay with it. I want him to be good with every step we take up to that point. You know, he's confident about what we're doing with him, and then we add a little bit, and then he gets confident with that, and then we add a little bit, and we just continue to build. So he thought I was asking him to move here. Want him to realize, so I want to find a spot that he stops, relaxes, and I quit, and I go back to it. That way he realizes I'm not asking him to move here. Same thing, I want to grab that back cinch. I want to get under his belly. I want to slap on this offside here. He's already going to be kind of concerned when I go to get on him, and he sees me off out of that other side. He sees me out of both eyes for the first time. He's already going to be a little concerned, so we want to work on everything as much as we can. There's a guy I know. He's got him almost like a little doll, almost like a big old mannequin, and he straps that to those colts, so those colts see something above them. We may have to start doing that. Where at least they can get to where they see you above them. But I want to start. I was doing some of this with him last week, but I want him to be comfortable with me jumping up and down, coming all around him. But when I'm jumping up and down, my hands are steady. You know, I'm not having those jump around and yanking around on him, doing any of that stuff. I want him to feel the weight, my weight on his back and his withers, where he feels all that, starts getting used to it. Same on this side. I'm jumping around him on this side. He's doing really well. Like I said, I worked on a little bit of it last week. I want to start getting some weight in those stirrups where he sees me climbing on top of him, and he keeps his feet still. He feels my knees are on him, my foot in the stirrup. I want to keep my foot at the end of that stirrup. I don't want to stick my foot way deep into that stirrup when I'm doing something like that, because I want to be able to get off of him or slip my foot out if he were to go and jump sideways. I want him to see he's a little concerned about it. He's not sure if we want him to do something else, but I want to make a bunch of noise with this stick and string where he's not concerned about it. He knows he can stand still, be quiet, and relaxed. Same on this side. So what we're going to start doing is getting him ready for this, where I want to walk around him. I want to eventually walk all the way around him, and for him to stand still with me. But I still want to be conscious of where his head is if he were to go to jump. But see, we've done a lot of groundwork with him to this point, and I want to retreat. But we've done a lot of groundwork up to this point where he's comfortable, confident in us and what we're doing. I want to eventually see, he was a little concerned about it, seeing us come from that back side. But that's all right. He'll figure it out. Same on this side. There. That's all right. We'll just take him back and do it again. See, I don't mind that they move their feet. They feel like they have to. But we're not going to move on until he doesn't. Because it's a worrisome. I mean, if they feel like they have to move their feet, then they're worried about something. And so maybe I'll just come stand next to him. Man, you hadn't seen me like this before. And just sit right here. We'll just find another spot to start. Just give him a moment to think about it. There. See, he thought about moving there, but he didn't. He thought about it, and he's like, well, I think I'll just stand still. So he corrected himself, so we went on. with him being worried about this side, we may just come over here and stand here. He's a little worried about this right here, so just come back over here and hang out here a second. I'll kind of bend his head towards me a little bit. So we've been working on his feet here, getting to where we can pick his feet up, work on picking his back feet up to where he's good and comfortable with all of that. So this right here, see, I've already led him by his foot, by his feet here, and so we've gotten a lot of the silliness out of him with around his feet. I just want to be able to pick that foot up real quick and give it back to him. I want to move him up out of this corner, come back to it. I want to have my lead rope around me on this side. There he gave to it that time. But I do want to pick the feet up a lot with their back feet. There. See, he's a lot better on this side. I think I'm going to go back to the other side and pick him up. I want to quit him on a good give right here. So he's kind of not wanting to, so reward him on a good give. See, that was a good one there. So these back feet, I don't think he'll go and kick me with them or anything like that at this point, but I still want to work at it a little bit more, make sure that he's good with this lead rope being around him, where he'll give to that. Still, he's pretty resistant to it right there. There. And on this side, I think we'll be done with him today. Once I'll kind of bounce around in the saddle a bit more. He's a little worried about this side. Just moved around on him a bunch. There it is. There was a give. There, that was a good one. There. Kind of go with him a little bit. I want him to pressure stops when he keeps his feet still. I don't want to let him get into a spot to where he thinks that he can run off about the time I go to getting on him. Okay, so that's our review with Quicksilver today as we prepare him for his first ride this week. He's getting really close, so like I said, we're just flowing with him and protecting that mindset as we progress with him. So that's our update for this week, and we'll catch up with you on the next one.